Hey, what's up, friends? Welcome back. We are here at Babylon Talmud in the city of Yafo, and we're going to study together today Daf Mem Daled of Masechta Berachos. It's the last page of the sixth parak of Ketzad Mevorchen. So I'd like to finish this page today, and tomorrow we will start with the seventh parak of Shlosha Shachlu Ke'achas. Or is it Ke'echad? Ke'achas. Today we're going to talk about a little bit about Iker v'Tafel, right? That interesting concept that's been kind of coming up here and there. We're going to talk about Bracha Achas Mein Shalosh, right? Ala Michya, Ala Eitz, Val Priya Eitz. And then we're going to get into some of those interesting health discussions in the Gemara about what foods are good for you and stuff like that, which is interesting. So, friends, without further ado, let's jump right in. Mem Daled Amud Aleph, all the way at the very, very top. Haveru l'fan of Maliach Tchila Ufas Imo. V'varech ala Maliach Ufoter Sapas. Shapas Tfeila Lo. Very, 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 very interesting that if you have some kind of a salty food, right, some kind of food that's very, very salty, and they bring with it bread, okay, to kind of help deal with the saltiness of this thing. So the Mishnah says, that you make a bracha on this salty item, and that's it. You don't make a bracha on the bread. It's interesting. So we had said the other day, right, berach ala parperes lo pater sapas, right? If you make a bracha on like chicken or something, if we said berach ala pas pater parperes, if you make a bracha on bread, so then it'll cover whatever like chicken and stuff you're eating with it. If you make a bracha on the chicken, it's not going to cover the bread. Right, but over here we're saying if you make a bracha on the salty fish, it covers the bread. Because why? Because the salt is the ikr, and the bread is the tafel. And the Gemara says, Zaklal, this is the general rule, Kol shu ikr v'imot tefela mevarech al ikr ufoter satfela. Whenever you have an ikr, a main food, and a tafel, which is a secondary food, something that you don't really care about, so you make a bracha on the ikr, and it covers the tafel. This is super interesting, also just because ikr and tafel has been kind of a difficult thing that's been coming up from time to time, and it's hard to figure out like when exactly we say ikr and tafel. But the way I'm thinking is that basically once you get to chamesh yasmin and dagan, that kind of automatically becomes the ikr. Then you're going to think, but we just said that you can make a bracha on the salty thing and it covers the bread. You don't make a bracha on the bread. So let's actually read on in the Gemara. So let's see what the Gemara says. Umi ika midi. So the Gemara says, like, what do you mean that bread is tafel? Is there really anything that is more ikar than bread? Okay? So the Gemara answers, Amar of Acha bread of Avira, Amar of Ashi b'ochle peres ginosar shanu. Yes, there is one thing in which it would be considered ikr and bread would be considered tafel. And says Rashi, peros ginosar. What are these fruits of ginosar? Peros eretz yam Kineres. It's these fruits from the land of the Kineres, I guess the Sea of Galilee area. Chashuvim min apas. It sounds like, according to Rashi, he's understanding the Gemara that basically these fruits of ginosar are the only thing, or maybe an example of a very limited group of things, of foods that would be considered more chashuv, more important than bread. Right? So, but it sounds like any other situation, though, unless you have this thing which is like objectively more chashuv than bread, it would sound like bread would otherwise never be tafel. And I think it makes sense in the context of like other, for example, at the very beginning of the parak, we had the discussion about daisa, right? Daisa, Rav Yehuda said you say shakoni amidvaro, and Rav Kana said that you say braymin mizonos. And Rav Yehuda says, well, because I say that the ikar is the honey there, therefore it's shako. Rav Kana said, I say the ikar is the farina, and therefore it's mizonot. And then they said, forget it actually. Ikr and tafel is irrelevant, because Rav and Shmuel said, whenever you have chameshes mine dagan, that automatically becomes beimin mizonos. And the way that I understand it is that basically all discussions of what's ikar and what's tafel goes away. Once you have chameshes mine dagan, that automatically becomes the ikar, and you're going to make a bracha on that. And I would think the same thing also with the when it comes to bread, because like what happens if you're eating hummus, right? I don't know if I mentioned this. I don't remember if I mentioned this the other day. What happens if you're eating hummus? When you go to a hummus joint, clearly you're going for the hummus. You're not going for the pita, right? I like this hummus place because I like their hummus rather than the other place because I like, I like this hummus better than that hummus. I mean, people, in Israel, hummus is a real thing. They're hummus restaurants. They're not called pita restaurants. They're called hummus restaurants. Yet you eat the hummus with the pita. So is anybody going to say you're going to make a bracha on the hummus and you're not going to make a bracha on the pita because I really care about the hummus, which is true. We're just not going to eat spoonfuls of hummus. So you eat the pita, so you have something to eat it with, right? But I don't know. Maybe some people would say just make a bracha on the hummus, but imagine most people probably wash on the pita, and that covers the hummus. So the way I understand is because you would say that chameshes minei dagan, right? Bread is bread. Chameshes minei dagan. If anything, it's even more than that, right? It's bread, which if what Rashi is saying, the peros ginos are higher level than bread because they're more chashuv than bread. So it sounds like it's even sort of level of importance. So let's say you have chameshes minei dagan, and then you have bread, and then you have, let's say, something like peros ginosar. So so Ikr and Tafel goes away when you have bread there, and of course you're going to wash on and make a bracha on the bread because you're not going to say that hummus is the ikar when compared with bread. I don't know. Anyways, that's just the way I'm thinking, at least according to Rashi, right? We're learning Gemara here. We're learning Gemara with Rashi. There is a whole world of different ways to understand this once you get into the Rishonim and Achronim and Halacha and stuff like that. But we're just trying to understand with Rashi over here. Anyways, that's how I understand it. If you understand it differently, I would certainly love to hear. When we would go on an excursion with Rabbi Yochanan to eat fruits of ginosar, when we were 100 of us, so then every person would collect 10 of these fruits. So 100 times 10 is 1,000. When we were 10 people, everyone would collect 100 of these fruits. So 10 times 100 is 1,000. Basically, they would collect 1,000 of these peros ginosar, and they would deliver them to Rabbi Yochanan for consumption. And basically every 100 of these fruits would fill up a basket that was 3 sa'as worth. Not really sure how much that is, but probably a bunch. V'achil lehu, l'chulhu, says the Gilyon, and Rabbi Yochanan would eat all 1,000 of these fruits. Umishtabea dilo taim ziyuna, and he would swear that he didn't even taste anything nourishing, i.e., he could probably eat another 1,000 of them. Ziyuna sakadaitech? What do you mean he didn't eat anything nourishing? He just ate 1,000 peros ginosar. That's nourishing. So ela ema mizona. No, mazon, satisfying. Basically, he ate 1,000 of these fruits and he wasn't even satisfied. He could now go and have a whole meal. Wow, that sounds like some very fancy fruit. Rabbi Abba would eat these peros ginosar until a fly would slip off of his forehead because the sweetness would, the oils and stuff would make his forehead very oily. Rav Ami Rav Asi avu achle ad nasir mazayhu. Rav Ami and Rav Asi would eat these peros ginosar until their hair would fall out. Okay, I wonder why their hair was falling out from fruit. But Rav Shimon Lakish have achil ad demarid. Rav Shimon Lakish would eat these peros ginosar until he would go crazy. V'amru Rabbi Yochanan the Veinesiya. Rabbi Yochanan would have to call up the Veinesiya to get their sort of political clout. V'amashadar le Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya ba'alushe abasa yumaisi le levese. And Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya would basically send the police force out to bring bring Rish Lakish back home. Very interesting, very, very interesting, intriguing fruits. I wonder if it had some kind of hallucinogenic property or something like that, or I don't know what this fruit was. I don't know. These people were acting very interestingly from these fruits. Flies slipping off of faces, hair being pulled out, going completely crazy, not knowing what's going on. I don't know. Who knows? Kiyasu Rav Dimi Omar. When Rav Dimi came, he said, when Rav Dimi came from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel, he said, Ir achas haisla liyanai hamelech b'har melech. There was a certain city belonging to Yanai the king, and this city was located on the mountain of the king. Sheimotzim mimena shishim ribos safle taris the quoted say to enim erev Shabbos le'erev Shabbos, that from this city they would bring forth 600,000 bowls of like small sardines epis, like some kind of a small fish, for the fig cutters. That the fig cutters would eat lots of fish, and then they would also need to eat lots of salty. They would eat lots of figs, and then they would need to eat like lots of salty fish, I guess, to like counter the sweetness of the figs. And this would be every week. They would have all of these fish. Now, I wonder where they were getting 600,000 bowls of sardines from inside a city. I would have imagined more of like a port kind of thing. Unless maybe it was a port city. Maybe it was a port city. Okay? Kiasa Ravin Omar, when Ravin came from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel, he said, Ilan echad hoilo liyanei melech, b'har melech. Yanei melech had a certain tree on Har melech. Sheimoridin mimenu arbaim sa gozlos mishalosh berachos b'chodesh. And every single month they would bring 40 pigeons from this tree. Okay, I guess it was a popular tree for pigeons. Okay. When Rabbi Yitzchak came to Bavel, he reported from Eretz Yisrael, there was a city in Eretz Yisrael called Gofnis, that there were 80 pairs of brothers who were all Kohanim, so 160 in total, so 80 pairs of Kohanim brothers. And they were married to 80 pairs of sisters who were all Kohanim. So you basically had 80 pairs of brothers, of Kohanim brothers, married to 80 pairs of Kohanos sisters. And the rabbis in Bavel did a very intensive search from Surah all the way to Narda to see if there's, they could find any similar pairs of Kohen brothers married to Kohenet sisters. And they couldn't find. The exceptions being Rav Chizda. Rav Chizda was a Kohen, so his daughters were Bat Kohens, and they were both married to Rami Bar Chama Mar Ukva Bar Chama. They were married to the two brothers, Rami Bar Chama and Mar Ukva Bar Chama. And even though the daughters of Rav Chizda were Kohanot, Rami Bar Chama and Mar Ukva Bar Chama were not Kohanim. So the closest they could find in Bavel was two sisters married to two brothers, where the sisters were Kohanot but not the brothers. Whereas in this city in Eretz Yisrael, they had 80 pairs of Kohen brothers married to 80 pairs of Kohen sisters. That sounds quite amazing. Amarav, Zokt Rab, Kol Suda Shein B'Melach, Eina Suda. Any meal that doesn't have salt, or other people have a girsa of maliach, something salty, but it's not a Suda. Okay, make sure you have salt. Amr B'chia Bar Abba, Amr Yochanan, Kol Suda She'ein Ba Sarif, Eina Suda. Any meal that doesn't have some kind of food that's served with gravy, it's not a Suda. Okay, very good. Let's go weiter. Ochel anovim uteinim v'rimonim. If a person ate grapes, figs, pomegranates, mevarach achreim shalosh brachos divrei Rabban Gamliel. Rabban Gamliel says, as we learned on Lamed Zayin Amud Aleph, that you are going to say Birkas Hamazon afterwards. Chachamim omrim. Chachamim say brachachas mein shalosh, that you are going to say ala eitz v'al priya eitz on these items. Rabbi Akiva Omer, afilu achol shelek v'hu mizono mevarach alav shalosh brachos. Rabbi Akiva says, even if you eat boiled vegetables, if that is your meal, if that is your mazon, so then you are going to say, you're going to bench on it, even though it's only vegetables. And it's very interesting that he says mizono, as though kilu shlakot, boiled vegetables could be mazon, because I've been struggling with, like throughout the entire parak, with the fact that on Lamed Vav Mud Beis, I think it was, that we said that the only things that are called mazon are the chamesh aminim. And yet Rashi seems to be throwing around mazon, especially like on Daf, was it Memalef Mud Beis, he's saying, kruv is considered mazon, but like grapes at the end of the meal aren't mazon. I was confused. I think mazon could just be subjective. Maybe in the context of nidarim, if you say konam mazon alai, I'm not going to have any mazon, so then we say it's only chameshes minei dagim. But stam, in terms of what can be covered by birkat hamazon and things like that, it's about, I think maybe it's subjective. It's about whatever you're eating to satisfy you. Therefore, if you're eating boiled vegetables and it's satisfying you, so that's considered mazon. And that's why he said on Mem Aleph Mud Beis that if you have beets in the middle of the meal that aren't with the bread, so you'll have to make a bracha because they're not being eaten with the bread, but they'll be covered in Birkat HaMazon because you're having it for mazon, for food, as opposed to, let's say, grapes that you bring after the meal, so you make a bracha Rishonim because you're not eating it with the bread, but you also make a bracha Achronim because it's not mazon either. You're not eating it for your meal, you're eating it as a dessert. I don't know. That's how I understand it anyways. Now that we're getting to the end of the parak, you can kind of like, it almost feels like in order to learn, we have to start over and learn this whole parak over again. Like in order to understand the parak of Ketzah Mevorchin, you have to do the whole thing and then start over and do it again. Almost like kind of those movies where it only makes sense at the end and now you have to watch it again to kind of realize, I understand this now, So it feels like, now in the last half of the page, kind of lots of stuff are coming together. Iker and Tafel, Mazon, Birkas HaMazon, all that kind of stuff. What do you guys think? Hashos Emayim Litzma'o, somebody who drinks water because he's thirsty. So he blesses before and Shakol Ni'ebedvaro. Okay? Rabbi Tarfon says that, what the bracha Rishon is for water? Borei Nefashos Rabbos V'Chasronon. What we say as an after bracha, Rabbi Tarfon Taka says as a first bracha L'maisa, which is very interesting. Says the Gemara, my time Rabbi Gamliel. How come Rabbi Gamliel says that you're going to say Birkas HaMazon on Epis figs? So the Chsiv, as the pasuk says, Eretz Chita U'Sa'or V'Gomer. So it talks about the pasuk that lists the Shiva Saminim. Skip the next little piece. Uchsiv V'Achalta V'Savata V'Rachtas Hashem Elokecha. And then afterwards it says V'Achalta V'Savata V'Rachtas Hashem Elokecha. So basically it talks about the Shiva Saminim, and then it talks about Birkas HaMazon. So we see that in Shiva Saminim you say Birkas HaMazon. But the Rabbanan counter that, and they argue with Rabbi Gamliel, and they say, Eretz Hifsika Inyan. Yeah, but in between the pasuk of Eretz Chita Usar V'Gef Mitena V'Rimon, etc., and in between that pasuk and the pasuk of Echalta V'Savata V'Achta, there's another pasuk, and that pasuk is Eretz Asher Lo B'Miskenus Tocha B'Lechem. So that serves to break up those two psukim and say that you can't just say that on the Shiva Saminim you're going to say Birkas HaMazon, and therefore they say that you don't say Birkas HaMazon on the Shiva Saminim, rather you just say Bracha Achas Mein Shalosh. Okay, fine. Rabbi Gamliel Nami Eretz Hifsika Inyan. So what does Rabbi Gamliel do with the fact that there is a pasuk in between Shiva Saminim and Birkas HaMazon? So Umi Ba'ile Limute Akosis Sachita. So very elegant. Rabbi Gamliel says it's not a hefsek. That second pasuk isn't breaking up those two psukim, it's defining the first pasuk. The first pasuk says, Eretz Chita Usa'or V'Gef Mitena V'Rimon Eretz Yeshem Unadvash, these Shiva Saminim. The next pasuk says that, by the way, right, what is Chita when we say, in the first pasuk, when it says wheat, so that therefore comes the second pasuk. It says Eretz Asher Lo B'Miskenus Tocha B'Lechem. When we say chita, wheat, in the first pasuk, it's specifically referring to bread. Okay, fine. So we have the Shiva Taminim. We then clarify that wheat in the Shiva Taminim is specifically bread. Okay, then we move on and we say V'Achalta V'Savata V'Rachta, that you should say Birkat HaMazon. So basically, say Birkat HaMazon on the entire context of the previous two psukim, which are the Shiva Saminim. Zeu. So the Mute Akosis Sachita, to exclude somebody who just munches on raw wheat. He wouldn't say Birkat HaMazon on that. Okay. What about barley? What if you munch on raw barley? I don't know, maybe you would. Or maybe it applies to barley also. That has to be bread. I don't know. Amr Rav Yankiv Bar Idi, Amr Rav Chanina. Zogt Rav Yankiv Bar Idi in the name of Rav Chanina, Kol Shumi Chameshes Aminin, Betchilim Varchalav Berminim Zonos, V'Sof Barchachas Mein Shalosh. So, Rav Yankiv Bar Idi says that any cooked grains, you're going to say Brahmini Mizonos and then a Alamichi afterwards. Amr Rabba by Mari, Amr B'Shuvim Levi, Kol Shem Shiva Saminin, B'Tchilim Varech Boy Priya Eitz, L'Vasof Barachachas Mein Shalosh. So Zakt Rabba by Mari in the name of B'Shuvim Levi, anything that is the Shiva Saminim, you're going to say Boy Priya Eitz beforehand, and the bracha of Al HaEitz, right, Barachachas Mein Shalosh, afterwards. Now you might be thinking, what do you mean? But chita and seora are B'Prei Adama if you eat them raw. You're right, they are. He's referring to the Shiva Saminim that are not the Chameshes Minei Dagon. Okay? So, grapes, pomegranates, figs, dates, olives, those things. Amalei Abai Rav Dimi. So Abai says to Rav Dimi, "My new brachachas mein shalosh." So what is the this ala eitz thing, right? If I eat an olive or a few olives, so I'll say the bracha of ala eitz. What is this ala eitz thing? So Amalei. So Rav Dimi responds, "Apere de eitz." So on fruit trees you say ala eitz val priya eitz val tenuva sasade. So you say on the tree, on the fruits of the tree, on the yield of the field, pal eretz chemda tova rechava, and on this very desirable, good land and wide land, shenchat avasenu, that you have bequeathed to our fathers, lechem mipirav l'sba mituva, to be able to eat from its fruits and to be satisfied from its goodness. Rachem Hashem Elokeinu al Yisrael amecha, God have mercy on Israel your nation. Vayushalayim Yirecha, and on Jerusalem your city, Val Mikdashcha, Val Mizbachacha, and on your Val Mikdashcha, Val Mizbachacha, and on your temple and on your altar, V'sivnei Yerushalayim Mir Kodshecha, V'meir V'amenu, and build Jerusalem, your holy city, very quickly, speedily in our days. V'aleinu l'socha, and bring us up into it, V'samchenu ba, and make us happy in it. Ki ata tov u'meitiv lakol, because you are good and do good to all. Zeu. Okay, very good. So that is the bracha of ala eitz. Now, I don't know if there's maybe Abai asking Rav Dimi. Says, so the chameshes aminim ala michya v'kalkala v'tenuva sasada v'chulei v'chosim ala aretz v'ala michya. And if it's the chameshes aminim, so then he says, instead of saying ala eitz v'al it says ala michya v'kalkala v'tenuva sasada, and then the rest of the content of the bracha is the same. And then he concludes Baruch Hashem ala aretz v'al michya. Michtam b'may chasim. But when it comes to ala eitz v'al priya eitz, what would be the concluding bracha for that one? So Kiyasa Rav Dimi, Omar. So when Rav Dimi came, he said, Rav chasim Rosh Chodesh Baruch Makadesh Yisrael Rosh Chodashim. So on Rosh Chodesh, Rav would make the bracha sort of seemingly completely unrelated. So on Rosh Chodesh, Rav in Musaf, I guess, the bracha that he would say over there in the middle of the Shemona Esrei would be Baruch Hashem Mekadesh Yisrael Rosh Chodashim. Right? God who blesses Israel and Rosh Chodesh. Meaning the point being that you can make two the conclusion of the bracha can have sort of two subjects, right? Israel and Rosh Chodesh. So here also it can be ala aretz val perosel, right? That you could say Baruch Hashem on the land and also for the fruits. So hachamai. So what we would say over here by ala eitz val priya eitz. So if Chizda amar ala aretz val perosel. So if Chizda was in Bavel, he would say on the land and its fruits. Right? Baruch Hashem ala aretz v'perosel. Rabbi Yochanan Amar, Dr. Rabbi Yochanan was in Eretz Yisrael, he said, ala aretz v'ala peros, on the land and on fruits in general. Amar v'amram, v'lo pligi alan v'alahu. And Rav says, and how can you account for the different texts, the different girsaos of the concluding bracha? So he says, look, in Eretz Yisrael, they would say ala aretz v'ala peros, and in Bavel they would say ala aretz v'perosel. Maskefler of Nachman bar Yitzchak. So if Nachman bar Yitzchak asked the kasha, inu achlev anu mevarchen, that makes no sense. In Eretz Yisrael, they're eating the fruits of Eretz Yisrael, and they're just saying ala aretz v'al peros on the land and on fruits in general. And we in Bavel, who are eating the fruits of Bavel, we're not eating the fruits of Eretz Yisrael, and we're saying ala aretz v'al perosel on the land, i.e. Eretz Yisrael and its fruits. We're not eating its fruits, and they're eating the fruits, and yet they're just saying on fruits in general, like what's going on? So you have to flip it around. Rav Chizda, who was in Bavel and eating the fruits of Bavel, said, Amar ala aretz v'al peros, on the land and on fruits in general. Rabbi Yochanan, who was eating the fruits of Eretz Yisrael, said, Amar ala aretz v'al peroseh, on the land, which is Israel, and its fruits. Amar Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi, Mishum Rabbeinu. Said Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi, his name Rabbeinu, and I assume Rabbeinu is Rav. Al habeya, on eggs, v'amini kufra, and on types of meat. Right? So on meat and on eggs, you say shakol yavdvaro, and afterwards you say brain of fashis. Aval yarka lo, but not on vegetables. Vegetables you don't make a bracha acharona. Now, by the way, something interesting is, how do I know that I make a bracha acharona on things like vegetables? Right? Bracha rishona I get. And I understand why I say a bracha acharona on bread. You can extend that also to maybe Shiva Saminim, right? Because you could say, like Rabbi Gamliel says, But otherwise, maybe you can apply it to like things like Netaravai, if you remember from the first paragraph, because if you have the extra hilulim, so you could say, that it teaches bracha achrona. But what about something like meat or eggs? How do I know you make a bracha achrona on that? I don't know. But anyway, so we're saying, Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi said that you would only make you would not make a bracha achrona at all on vegetables. Rav Yitzchak Amar, Rav Yitzchak, afilu yarka. No, Rabbi Yitzchak says that you would make a bracha achrona on vegetables, well, maya lo, but you wouldn't make a bracha achrona, you wouldn't say brain nefashos on water. Rav Papa, Amar Zator Papa, afilu maya, you would make a brain nefashos on water. Okay? Mar Zutra Ovid Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi. So Mar Zutra did like Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi that he would only make a brain nefashos on meat and eggs, but not on vegetables or water. Rav Shimi bar Ashi Ovid Rav Yitzchak, whereas Rav Shimi bar Ashi did like Rav Yitzchak that he would make a brain nefashos on meat, eggs, and vegetables, but not on water. Okay, the simanach, and if you want to remember, who Mar Zutra held like and who Rav Shimi bar Ashi held like, so chad ketrei v'trei kechad. So just remember, the single dude, so Mar Zutra, he did like the double guy, like Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi, and Rav Shimi bar Ashi, who had the double name, he did like Rav Yitzchak, who has a single name. Okay, so that way you guys will never, none of us will ever forget this, and whenever we meet up with each other one time, we'll be able to remind each other of this Gemara because we'll remember. Amar Rav Ashi, Zok Rav Ashi, Ana, Zimno Dechimad Karna, Avidna Kechulu. Whenever I can remember, then I try to do like all of them. If I remember to make a brain nefashos after I drink water, so I do it, but I don't always remember. Interesting. Tanan, we learn in the Mishnah, a Mishnah Nida, Kol Sheton Bracha L'Acharav, Ton Bracha L'Fanav. So anything that requires a bracha achrona requires a bracha rishona. Okay. However, there are items that require bracha rishona but don't require bracha achrona. Okay, so Bishlam Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi lafuke yarka, Rav Yitzchak lafuke maya. So I understand according to Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi, it's coming to what's something you make a bracha rishona on, not a bracha achrona. Epis, vegetables, and water, right? And according to Rav Yitzchak, right, he says that while you do make bracha achrona on vegetables, you don't make a bracha on water. So I get it. There are items that you make a bracha rishona, but not a bracha achrona. But Rav Papa, who says that you always make a bracha achrona, what's an example of something you make a bracha rishona and you don't make a bracha achrona? So the answer is lafuke mitzvos, to exclude mitzvahs, right? When you put on, tzitzis, tefillin, so you make a bracha before you put them on, but you don't make a bracha when you take them off. But what about in Eretz Yisrael, where when they take off their tefillin, they taka make a bracha of lishmar chukav, the bracha of to guard his statutes. So according to them, then what's an example of somebody make a bracha rishona and no bracha achrona? So lafuke reichane, smells. You make a bracha on something that smells good, so then you make a bracha rishona and you don't make a bracha achrona. Amar Rabbi Zok Rabbi Amar Rebbe, in the name of Rebbe, Kolshu kibeitza, beitza tova mimenu. Oh, so anything that's the size of an egg. So let's just take, for example, an orange or an apple, right? It's the size of an egg, probably larger than an egg. And so if I asked you, which would you say is healthier, an apple or an egg? The correct answer would be the egg. Okay. Because Ravin Amar, when Ravin came, he said, Tava biasa migulgalta mishisa kaise solta. Wow. That a egg that is soft roasted. Now I don't know what soft roasted means. We're not talking about soft boiled, we're talking about soft roasted, but an egg that is soft roasted, so that is better than 6 logan of very fine flour. Okay. Because Rav Dimi Amar, when Rav Dimi came, he said, Tava biasa migulgalta mishisa, that this soft roasted egg is better than 6 logan of fine flour. Matvisa, if it's hard roasted, then it's better me'arba, it's better than 4 logan. Okay. Mivushalta, but if it's like a boiled egg, well then kol shu kibeitza beitza tove menu, then anything that's the size of a beitza, if you can compare like an apple versus a hard-boiled egg is going to be healthier. Levar mibisra, of course, excluding meat, because meat is healthier than everything. So if you have like like a steak versus like a hard-boiled egg. So in that case, the steak is actually going to be healthier. Okay. Rabbi Akiva Omer, afilu achal shalek chule. So Rabbi Akiva says that if you eat boiled vegetables and that's your mazon, that's your meal, so you're going to say Birkat HaMazon, which is also, by the way, interesting because on Lamed Zayin and Aleph, we had that story where Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Gamliel and a bunch of rabbis were misubin, right? They were be'aseh, but it sounded like they were having a whole meal together, and they had over there dates. And Rabbi Gamliel said to Rabbi Akiva, why don't you lead the blessing? And he said, Bracha achas mein shalosh, to which Rabbi Gamliel said, hey, I said that you're supposed to bench. Why are you making a whole scene over here? But why, it sounded like they were misubin, they were having a whole kviyah suda. So if they were being kviyah suda and they were serving dates, so why didn't he bench on that? I don't know. So the Gemara says, Umi'ika midi to have a shelek mizone? Is it really possible to have boiled vegetables be like a mazon to the extent that you're going to bench on it? Amar Vashi, bikelech shel kruv shanu. He said, yeah, it is possible. If you have the stalk of a, like the heart, I guess, of a cabbage, that you can eat that and that could be your mazon. And actually, interestingly, I just saw like a video on YouTube about this very fancy restaurant that they want to cater. I guess it's being more popular to be vegetarian now, so they want to create like high-end vegetarian dishes. And I saw them, putting together like almost like a fillet of cabbage. I take like a cabbage heart and I guess they cook it very well and season it very well. But, you can really make, I guess, like a very significant meal out of cabbage. Okay, so spleen, if you eat spleen, it's very good for your teeth, but it's very not good for your stomach. Now, leeks are bad for your teeth, but they're good for your stomach. Okay. Any raw vegetables will make you very pale. If you eat like small items, it's going to make you small. I think what this means is like if you eat like living things, so then it like makes you like living. And anything that is close to the soul. So I think what we're going to define what this means, but basically whatever is like closer on the animal to like where you shechted it, to where you took its life from it, so it's good for your life. Kruv lamazon, cabbage is like mazon, it's like sustaining. It's satisfying. Vitradin lirfua, and beets are medicinal. Oilo levayis shalefes overes besocho, and woe is to the house that turnips pass through the house. Oy oy oy. Omar Mar, we just said, okay, spleen is good for your teeth and it's bad for your stomach. Maitakante, so what do you do? So like, how can you sort of take advantage of the teeth benefits of spleen without ruining your stomach? So the answer is, anybody know? Nilase unishadye. Chew it and spit it out. So it's good for your teeth and you're not swallowing it, so it's not bad for your stomach. Brilliant compromise. Krishin koshin l'shinaim v'yafim l'vnei me'ayim. So now leeks are bad for your teeth, but they're good for your stomach. So how can you get it into your stomach while avoiding your teeth? That sounds a little trickier. So my takante, l'shalkinu v'nivla'inu. So just boil them real soft, so you can just like swallow them without having to chew them. Okay. Yerek chaim morik. Raw vegetables will make you pale. Amr Rabbi Yitzchak b'suda rishona shal acher hakaza. So Rabbi Yitzchak says that that's talking about the first meal after bloodletting. Okay. Amr Rabbi Yitzchak kol ha'ochel yerek kodem arba shos also saper imenu. Rabbi Yitzchak says that anybody who eats vegetables during the first 4 hours of the day, you may not speak with him. My time, how come? Mishum recha, because, so Rashi explains, because people didn't normally eat for the first 4 hours of the day, and therefore if this guy ate, so then when you talk to him, you're going to smell the food on his breath, and it's going to be very difficult because you haven't yet eaten. And says Rabbi Yitzchak, it's separately, he says that it is forbidden for a person to eat raw vegetables during the first 4 hours of the day. So Meimar and Marzutra and Rav Ashi were sitting together. Aisu kamayu yerek chai kodem arbashos. And they brought out raw vegetables, and it wasn't yet 4 hours into the day. Okay. So Amemar Rav Ashi achu, umarzuchu lo achal. So Amemar and Rav Ashi, dug in and they started eating the raw vegetables. Marzutra did not eat the raw vegetables. Amrule, they said to him, "My daitech, how come you're not eating the raw vegetables?" So the Amr Yitzchak kol ochel yerek kodem arbashos also lesapri menu mishum reicha. Is it because Rabbi Yitzchak said that anybody who eats vegetables in the first 4 hours of the day, you're not allowed to talk with them because of the smell of their breath? But we're eating these vegetables and you're talking to us, so clearly that's not the concern. He says, no, I'm choshesh for the other opinion of Rabbi Yitzchak, which is that it's forbidden for a person to eat raw vegetables within the first 4 hours of the day. Kokoton maktin, anything small will make you small. Amr of Chizda, afilu gadya barzuza, even if it was a goat whose price was 1 zuz, even that apparently would be a very fancy goat. Even that you shouldn't be eating if it's too small. Which helps us appreciate the Chad Gadya song that it was, right, the Zabin Abba betrays Zuze. That I guess was a very expensive goat. It was double the price of this very fancy goat. V'lamar and Ella delezbe riva. Now, when we say a small goat, we're talking about a goat that is smaller than 1/4 of its full size. Aval isbe riva, but if it's already 1/4 of its total, ultimate size, leislan ba, then you could chaparain and you can eat it. Enjoy. Kol nefesh meshiv nefesh. Any soul relieves a soul. Amar of Papa afilu gildene dvegile. Even these little fish that swim around in like the reeds in the swamps. So I don't know. I think it might be talking about literally if you take this little fish and just eat it alive. Like a nefesh is made like you're literally eating like a live thing. I don't know. Rashi says kol nefesh, kol davar chai. Anything, I don't know if it means raw. It might even be alive. Because something that's dead doesn't have a nefesh. Something that's dead, it's just meat. It doesn't have a nefesh. So it might just be something alive. Hanechal shalem, that's eaten whole. They're fully grown and they're just really small. You just eat them alive. I don't know. Is that I don't think Ever Menachai applies to fish. So maybe it just means you take this little fish thing and you just eat it. All right. Anything that's close to the soul, so it relieves the soul. Amar Rav Acha Bar Yankiv Unka. This is referring to neck meat, because they slaughter the animal at its neck. So if you eat neck meat, that's about as close to the soul that you can get. Amar le Rava l'Shame. Rava said to his attendant, Kimaisis li umtzu de bisra. When you go to the shuk to get me meat, try to get me meat that's as close to the place where they made the bracha on shchita as possible, i.e. as close to the neck as possible. Wow. I guess that is very healthy, neck meat. Kruv the mazon v'traden l'refuah. Cabbage is for sustaining you, whereas beets are for medicine, for healing. Kruv the mazon in l'refuah lo. Cabbage only satisfies you, but it doesn't have medicinal purpose. It doesn't have medicinal characteristics. Ve'atanya, but we learn in a brayso, shisha dvarim rapin esachole michol yo v'refuas and refuah. There are 6 things that heal a sick person from his sickness, and their healing is a real healing. Ve'eluein, and these are them: kruv, cabbage; v'tradin, and beets; umeisisin, chamomile tea. Skip the next word. V'keva, stomach meat. V'heres, what was heres? Placenta meat, I think. Okay. V'yoseres hakaved, and this, I think it's this part of the animal that the meat that's between the liver and the lungs, something like that. No, but what do we see? We see that kruv, that cabbage, is medicinal as well. Elema kruv af lamazon. No, kruv is even for food. So it's healing and it is also for food. Okay. Then we said, oilo levai shalefes overes b'socho. Woe is to the house that turnips pass through the house. Ini, really? Va'amar le rav l'shame ki chazis lifta b'shuka lo temeli b'mai krachat rifta. Right? So, but Rava said to his attendant that if ever you see turnips in the market, don't ask me what we're having for dinner that night, because it's obvious we're having turnips. So why would it be bad to have turnips or why would Rava be so excited to eat turnips if it's dafka really unhealthy and scary and bad? Amar Abaye mibli basar. So Abaye says, turnips are only unhealthy and bad and scary if you don't cook them in meat. If you cook them in meat, then all good. Rava Amar mibli yain. Rava says, it's only if you cook it if you don't drink wine with it, if you don't wash it down with a glass of wine. If you wash it down with a glass of wine, all good. Itmar, it was stated, Rav Amar mibli basar. Rav says it's only a problem if you eat turnips without meat. Shmuel Amar mibli eitzim. Shmuel says it's only a problem if you eat the turnips without cooking it for a very long time. Eitzim is wood, meaning if you have to add a lot of wood to the fire to cook it for a long time. Rabbi Yochanan says turnips are only dangerous if you don't wash it down with a lot of wine. Amalei Rava Rav Papa. Rava said to Rav Papa, Sudani, new beer merchant, because Rav Papa was a successful beer merchant. So Rava asked Rav Papa, Anan tavinan la bibisra v'chamra. So we sort of cut the danger of turnip by cooking it with meat, by drinking wine. Atun delona fishluchu b'chamra. You guys who don't have a lot of wine, rather you have a lot of beer. B'maitav risula. But beer isn't going to help for turnips. So how do you cut the strength of the turnip? So amalei betzive, with wood. We just cook it for a really long time. Ki adevisu dera papa basar de mevashtala tavila betamnin ofi parsiasa. That the wife of Rav Papa, after she would finish cooking these turnips, she would then keep it, she would then add lots of fire, lots of wood to keep the fire going and cook out all of that bad stuff from it. Okie dokie. Tana Rabbanan, the rabbis taught. Dag katon maliach, so a small salty fish, paimim, sometimes, shumemis, sometimes it could taka kill you. Okay? Because it's part of the fun of eating small salty fish. There's a risk factor. B'shiva asar uvesim b'shiva v'amila b'esim v'shlosha. So, and when is it dangerous? 7 days after it's salted, 17 days after it's salted, 27 days after it's salted. Some say taka also 23 days after it's salted. V'lo'amar and ella b'matve v'lo matve. It's only when it's not roasted very well. About matve shapir, but if it's roasted very well, leislan bab. So then you don't have to worry about eating these salty fish. Udelo matve shapir. And even when it's not cooked very well, lo amarin ela lo shasa basri shichra. It's only dangerous if you don't drink beer afterwards. Aval shasa basri shichra leislan ba. But if you drink beer afterwards, then it's okay. Don't worry about these salty fish. Hashos mayim litzmo v'chulei. The Mishnah said that somebody who drinks water because he's thirsty. So he says shakoni abedvaro la'afuke mai. So when we say somebody who's drinking wine because he's thirsty, implying that in some other context he wouldn't say shakol near the road. I don't know if I said wine, but I meant water. So Amar Rav Idi bar Avin lafuke leman dechankase umtza. To the exclusion of somebody who's choking on a piece of meat. If somebody's choking on a piece of meat, he doesn't need to say shakol near b'dvaro on the water that he's going to drink. Rabbi Tarfon Omer B'rei Nefashos Rabbos V'chesonim. So Rabbi Tarfon interestingly says that on water you're going to say B'rei Nefashos. You're not going to say shakol near b'dvaro. The bracha Rishona is going to be B'rei Nefashos. So Amalei Rava bar Rav Chanan le'Abaye v'Amrila le'Rav Yosef hilchos amai. So Rava bar Rav Chanan said to Abaye. Some say he asked Rav Yosef, what's the halacha? Did we say shakol on water? Or did we say B'rei Nefashos on water? So Amalei Pokchazi Mayam Adabar. He said, no, stop being a nudnik. Go and get your head out of the sand, see what everybody's doing, and do what they do. Meaning, everyone's already saying B'rei Nefashos. Everyone's already saying shakol ne'er b'dvar on water. Say shakol ne'er b'dvar on water, and that's that. Don't make problems over here. Zeu which is a very interesting answer, right? Meaning that the answer is whatever the people are doing, right? If I guess something like this, where it's not like they're doing anything wrong. It's a matter of do you do like A or do you do like B? Like if everyone's already doing like A, then that's that. Just do it. Cool. Well, that was an interesting daf. Berachos mein shalosh ala michi ala eitz apriya eitz. Also, Iker and Tafel was an interesting discussion, and medical stuff was interesting, I guess, to an extent. And with that, we wrap up Ketzad Mevorchen, right? Hadron Alach Ketzad Mevorchen. We will come back to you, probably in a very long time. But very interesting parak, a kind of practical parak, only to an extent, because we have so many questions, and we didn't really get into the Rishonim and go Alach L'Maisa. We're just learning the Gemara and getting that experience. But definitely a lot of stuff to think about. And cool. I'm looking forward to moving on to Shlosha Shachlu together and learning about benching. Until then, peace out.